COVID was started to hurt him in the election?
Oh, 100%.
What? Criminal case in Florida, his criminal case in D.C., his criminal case in Manhattan, his criminal case in Georgia, they're all rigged. So then he's weaponizing it against his own son because his own son was just convicted?
They said he sexually assaulted a woman, and it was beyond the statute of limitations.
So we've got a bit of a different one today. We don't usually try to cover too much content from other channels that are similar because, you know, they're doing their own thing. And I'm just waiting till we can get together like the Avengers or something. No, but Luke Beasley recently did go to a Trump rally and spoke to voters there in a way that the good liars usually do. So of course I thought, why not look at some of the best clips? Because it is a good look into the state of minds people must be in to vote for someone like Trump.
2016, he won, but he said the popular vote was rigged against him, and he should have won the popular vote. Then in 2020, he said the 2020 election was rigged. Then he said every single of the 60-plus court cases that determined the election was legitimate, all of those were rigged. And then his criminal case in Florida, his criminal case in D.C., his criminal case in Manhattan, his criminal case in Georgia, they're all rigged. And then his civil case where he was found to have sexually abused a woman, rigged. And then his fraud case where he was found to have engaged in business fraud, rigged. That seems a little cray.
Not really.
Maybe he just keeps doing bad stuff.
No, I don't think so. No. So you guys are young. You're like no.
This is the level of lies you have to believe to support Trump in any way. I mean, Luke also forgot that he said the Iowa caucus was rigged when Ted Cruz won. And then you also have to believe climate change is fake, that all institutions are rigged. That's until they rule in Republicans' favor, of course. And then you have to chastise anyone for disagreeing with them, or until a Democrat like Hunter Biden gets prosecuted. And then you also have to say that it's all free and fair, or when a judge like Aileen Cannon rules in Trump's favor and allows the court to be delayed, you also have to say that that was a good ruling. But anything against Trump, rigged. And it shows a clear narcissistic pattern of behavior where he just can't handle losing, point blank, and he also can't take any accountability. And now his supporters are so devolved by just blindly following him that they accept any excuse that he gives to be completely true. And when there's clear evidence to prove him wrong, fake news. When it's proven in a court of law, that court of law is rigged. It's really sickening what he's done to a large group of people involved in politics.
2020 election results.
Rigged.
The first indictment in Manhattan. That's now a conviction.
Oh, the misdemeanor that they strapped to a state
Just rigged or legitimate?
Rigged.
Okay. The classified documents case.
Rigged.
The indictment related to election interference that's a federal case.
Rigged.
The indictment related to the election interference that's a state case.
Rigged.
The civil case where he was found to have sexually abused a woman.
They said he sexually assaulted a woman, and it was beyond the statute of limitations, and she did
in civil cases.
It was. They had
So rigged, okay.
Yeah, rigged.
And then the business fraud case.
rigged.
So you really, in the party of personal responsibility, are willing to say every single example of Trump being held accountable for his actions is just a conspiracy against him?
Yeah.
That really seems more logical to
Yeah,
you
yeah, it
than
is.
maybe he's a bad guy who keeps breaking the law.
No, so here's my thing is, why is it with Trump, everything seems to fall against him? Everything. If it's 50-50, oh, look, this just happened. Look, Russia.
What?
Let's talk about Russia.
Russia?
I mean, it's Occam's razor, right? The simplest explanation is usually the one that's true. The more elements or things you have to add to something to make it make sense means it's probably wrong or outright a lie. And in this case, it's definitely a lie. And the mental gymnastics that you have to do to think every institution is against Trump, every person in politics is against Trump, every media is against Trump, every corporation is against Trump, just because you don't want to say he's being held accountable is kind of insane. It's funny that MAGA says Democrats are coping with Joe Biden after the debate when they've been coping hard with Donald Trump since 2016. And it's also credence that they wouldn't give any other average Joe. Let prisoners in prison start saying this and they're going to say, lock them up, don't let them out, right? Like imagine if Hillary said this when they were chanting lock Hillary up. Do you think they would have bought into that? No, because it's a Democrat. And Trump also has had plenty things go his way. I don't know why he's saying that. He didn't have his assets seized after being found liable for fraud. Me or you, we would have had our assets seized immediately. He didn't go to jail after 11 times being in contempt of court. Me or you would have gone after one. And if we're talking about straight up wins, he lost the popular vote in 2016 and was elected through the Electoral College, which means the Electoral College literally went his way. Why did that fall his way if it's all rigged against him, all institutions, right? And Russia was correct. I mean, we've been through this endless times on the channel, so sorry to put you through it again, but the Republican-led Senate released a report that in detail showed that Russia did indeed launch efforts to interfere in the election on Trump's behalf. They found Donald Trump Jr., Paul Manafort, and others that were in contact with Russia as well and eager to exploit any information or any interference they could to benefit themselves.
Tell me, is there a two-tier justice system?
Is there a two-tier justice system? Does a bear poop in the woods? Is there a two-tier?
So presumably,
is there a two-tier justice
so-
system? Does the
presumably-
sun come out in
so
the morning?
presumably-
Is the lake?
I'm walking you down a path.
One more, and then you. Is Lake Michigan wet?
That would mean that Biden presumably is weaponizing the justice system to benefit himself, right?
Oh my gosh, that's the smartest thing you've said since you talked to me.
Awesome. So then he's weaponizing it against his own son because his own son was just convicted.
Oh, he was convicted of little charges.
They could send him to prison for years.
Oh, could they? See, they're going to use that and say, look, the justice system is legitimate because Hunter was found
And then what about a Democrat? What about
enough to fall
what-
for that shit?
What about
I really don't know if this guy thinks he's engaging in high IQ level dialogue, but scatological is the lowest form of humor, and he's also saying nothing. It's a lot of words to say literal nothing, right? He also got caught in a logic path of inconsistency pretty easily, which I mean, if you're high IQ so much that you can question others, that wouldn't happen to you. Why would Biden make his own son a felon? Not everyone views everything as politics, by the way. Some people care about their family. I know that's weird for Trump supporters to think, but why would he do that to his son, who now, by the way, could face as many or more years in prison than Trump, but Trump's getting unfair treatment and Hunter's getting let off easy? Do they not understand the other crimes, which it doesn't make sense, right? Or Democratic Senator Bob Melendez, who's getting held accountable while Matt Gaetz walks free for his interactions, we'll say, with minors. But this guy here is clearly an intellect of a level that liberals could never understand or catch up to, obviously.
COVID was started to hurt him in the election?
Oh, 100%.
What? Why?
Because he, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, everyone is so afraid of him because we have so much corruption going on in our country.
I'm not trying to make this a hostile interview, okay? So you can cut me off, you can say, but let me just say, the person who's been accused of the most corruption in a court of law has been him, right?
From a liberal standpoint, yes.
COVID, a disease that ravaged nations, like entire countries and people worldwide. Millions of people died from it. It sent our economy spiraling as well. People are still dealing with complications from COVID, and COVID also is still a thing to this day. Was created to stop Trump. First off, why didn't it go away after Biden won then? Why did it continue? And also, Trump is a man who passed one bill and lost the popular vote his first time around. I mean, at this point, this level of delusion can't be healthy to indulge in.
I wanted to talk about crime stats. How is that twisting anything? That's not twisting.
How bad is our crime?
Huh?
How bad is our crime?
Very, very bad. You know it's gotten crazy around.
It's plummeted. It just is, but I don't know how to communicate that other than saying that.
Where are you getting your information from? There you go.
The FBI crime statistics, the same ones that Trump would cite whenever he said crime was low under him.
The reason crime's going down because most of the cities are not reporting their crime to the FBI anymore. And
But I explained that.
that's a proven fact.
Yeah, it's not. They have victim surveys they do, so you can just survey a population and see if it aligns with the crime stats.
I don't really believe what they're saying anymore. None of us.
I don't believe in what they are saying. I believe in the actual data that's gathered by good police officers around here.
But the data is not being sent. It's not being reported.
But you're just pulling that out of here.
I'm not just pulling that out.
What? Give me a piece of evidence that proves that data is being falsified. The evidence is the crime stats.
Crime, both violent crime and property crime, are near 50-year lows and have been steadily dropping since they spiked under Trump in 2020. And it's funny that they questioned the credibility of the FBI, but rallied behind Trump citing the same stats in his own administration just 6 years ago, which is why they then have to make up some silly stories and explanations that are just counterfactuals about how crime is just not being reported, which is unsubstantiated, by the way, and also dissuaded by the fact that victim surveys chart reported and unreported crimes, and they match up with the data showing that crime has dropped over 15%. So it's dropping in any facet or any metric you want to view it by. This just doesn't make sense. Again, cope of the finest kind. Biden's policies have made America safer, right? Like gun crimes dropping after he dropped his gun safety bill. There is causation and correlation there to attribute it to Biden in ways that you can't with Trump. When people have more jobs, better paying jobs, stronger infrastructure, they aren't put in the state of desperation that leads people to commit more crimes. And it's clear between Trump and Biden who did that more and who did it better. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.